Welcome to WinelineTV and Wineline Radio. This is your host, Robert Scott, and we are having lunch at Osteria Fonterratoli with Francesco Mazzei, CEO of the historic Mazzei wine family. Francesco, it's a lovely day here in Chianti Classico, and your winery has a very unique production and barreling facility here in Fonterratoli. Can you please tell us about it?
Yes, it's barrels, tanks, but the peculiarity of this one is that it's all on the ground, and so we don't pump at all. We just gravity and small fermented, because we vinify every single parcel by itself. We have 120 different parcels. And then also the most important thing is that the barrel room, which is big, there's no conditioning. It's all natural, because there are natural water springs on the wall that help to humidify and cool down the springs.
So the water flows over the
rocks
inside the building, which is very unique. I'm really interested in what's happening in Sicily. Yeah, so tell me a little about
Sicily.
Sicily adventure.
Is quite on fire, especially, which is a nice metaphor. You say metaphor because it's on fire. And is on fire the Mount Etna, which is a volcano. So you can interpret that in different ways. And the volcano is still active, and every once in a while is erupting. You know.
The time we were in Sicily, we were staying at a small place, Villa Ducali, up on the hill in Taormina, and we checked in. And they asked us if we'd like some wine. Of course, so we went out on the terrace, sat down, and poured a glass of wine. The sun goes down, and Mount Etna erupted.
Oh, fantastic!
Yes.
Were you afraid or
no?
It's far away.
We had wine.
Exactly.
You can't be afraid.
You have to the medicine, the recipe. Sicily, as I was saying, Sicily is on fire, especially for the Etna wines, but which I think it was a good step ahead, in the sense that Sicily, in my opinion, is known too much as a big region, while there are areas for wine very different. And the success of the Etna is nice because it's pushing the concept of different territories. So you see more and more Sicily divided in the Nero d'Avola of the southeast, the Etna, which is red north and white south. Then you have Faro. Then you have Frappato, Cerasuolo. Frappato, Cerasuolo di Vittoria. Then you have mostly the whites on the west side. Then you have the islands. So Sicily is becoming something more interesting to me, because Sicily, it's a nice signature. But the territory of Sicily is too different to identify a wine. And
so it's almost like they're AVAs.
Yeah. So I think it's a nice move. Sicily is becoming more quality driven. When I say quality, is I mean character and identity. Great variety, character and identity. Instead of how do you say, a trademark Sicily, which means just a geographical location. But at the end, you see a nice move in this way, and this to me is very positive. Set service in California, so we like a winery. We have a company that does the service, which means handling, the warehousing, and delivering. So we have a number of wines, not all the wines, a number of wines there, so that the Americans that come here, they can taste the wines. If they like, they can buy from the wine. It's already there. It comes in a short time to their homes, but at a much better price than what you get in the market. And then with the service, you get that too.
Right.
And
Now,
they have
And it works unbelievably well.
now, some of this wine that you have that you can't get it in the States, like it's the places that we just bought wine, we can continue getting it from them. So it's the same thing with your company? Got it.
yes, they have a very fine wine club online that you can join and
Exactly.
and get the wine shipped
It's
directly.
free of charge. I mean, it's not, you're not obliged to buy. You're a member. You get newsletters, offers, and if you want, you buy. Otherwise, you keep be informed. And for us, it's interesting because it's a way to communicate to our customers. So it doesn't matter if they buy or if they don't buy. It's
exactly.
that's not the priority, but it's a way to tell our friends face to face what we do.
Oh.
That have been planted all together in a single vineyard, which we consider to be the ideal location for the Sangiovese. 300 meters of altitude, there's a plateau facing south, windy, combination of rocks and clay, perfect for Sangiovese. And we make a very special wine there, which is called Mix 36, just because it's made of 36 different Sangioveses. Yep. Wow.
It's kind of like the old concept of doing a field blend,
Yep.
except that it's highly regulated.
Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, I found that some of the small producers that I know who seem to be
Gracias.
not so crazy about the idea, now they're, I produce a Gran Selezione now, and I think that they're falling in line.
I smile because sometimes it's hard to understand why people are against things that should make their life better. Why? Just because they're conservative, just because they don't want to, they're afraid of investments, but at the end, I mean, the Gran Selezione now is about 6-7% in volumes, but it's over 15% in value, right? And it's flying. So it will easily get to a 30% of the total value of the Chianti Classico with half the bottles.
And that's a beautiful thing. Yeah.
Easy. And the quality, did you notice the Gran Selezione are now Parker, Wine Spectator, Venus, 94, 95, 96, 98. They're getting incredible scores. So what's wrong?
Yeah, exactly.
It's working. At the end, I have to admit that was a good move. Yep.
I wanted to ask you, we have noticed, particularly in Umbria, not so much in Tuscany, but people are beginning to experiment again with amphora. Are you looking? Are you?
Yeah, we're already doing it. We have at the moment we have a bunch of amphoras, and which we're using for our top Vermentino from Baguardo, Maremma, Codice V, which is V code, and it's very interesting. Yeah, it's very interesting because the natural micro oxygenation of an amphora is completely different from a barrel.
Yes.
So you
Or
get
for
a different,
cement.
you get a different taste, you get more complexity, less tannin. So very interesting. Yeah, absolutely.
Produces a wine that you can drink early, I think. Yes.
Yeah, and more and a bit more refined, if I can say that. More.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy to see that Mazzei is experimenting with amphora.
Yeah, you know, we have a long heritage, but probably the reason why we're still in the business, we're still in the industry, is that we keep experimenting. So amphoras, okay, let's see how amphoras are doing, and we try. Yeah, we're very active in that.
Now, are you only on the wine? You're not doing anything with oil or?
Yeah. We make small amount of olive oils in each estate we own.
Okay.
Yep. And they're
And also
super
the
premium.
vinegar? Do you do the
A little bit of vinegar too. Yeah.
vinegar too?